All right. We should be live right now. Should be live. Just wanted to get on here, just talk for a few minutes after what just happened. Probably the worst All Star game in NBA history that just went down. The worst game that happened in my lifetime, All Star game wise. Since watching the NBA, it was that bad, man. So probably gonna be on here for like a few minutes, just quick yap sesh. Talk a little bit about the game, quotation marks, and like other stuff that happened with this weekend. So, I guess, man, why not just pass some time? That that game was so bad. I need to pull up the score. Um, yeah, pull up the score. Sorry. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, I got it now. Uh, there we go. Pull it up. Boom. So, a final score right here. Eh, no, I don't want. Nah, I don't want like that. Well, that's the final score right here. As you can see, East wins it 211 to 186. I mean, what we witnessed tonight wasn't even basketball. I understand over the past few years with these All Star games, defense is pretty much non-existent. But what? Okay, it wasn't even the fact that no defense was being played and they were just scoring as much as they can throughout the game. Okay, that's fine, but it wasn't even entertaining, man. It wasn't entertaining in the slightest. There was like one oop in the entire first quarter to start off the game. With previous All Star games, to kick the game off, players usually have, they get all the good dunks out to get the crowd into it, to get the crowd excited. We didn't see that tonight at all. Just a bunch of layups, threes especially. The amount of threes that happened this game were insane. I I mean, it wasn't entertaining at all. At like second half, I was tuning out, doing other stuff, other work like editing videos. Like I was just tuned out of the game. It was completely boring, a snooze fest, and I don't know, man, because last year players, even the coaches, I remember Mike Malone post game his interview, he was going crazy like, yo, this is probably the worst game of basketball I have ever witnessed in my life, which complete that was completely fair from him on his behalf because that was horrible what happened in Utah last year. But again, with this year, it was the same thing, if not worse. Larry Bird, I saw a video from Larry Bird. I think it was during the banquet they usually do for all the legends and stuff during All Star Weekend every year. Larry Bird said, "Hey, for the players, let's have a great showing. Show out for the fans and for the league." And it didn't happen. It didn't happen. It was completely boring. The crowd was completely non-existent. They weren't into it at all. It was lifeless. It was like an open gym run, like what you see at the YMCA, LA Fitness, other gyms like that. It was completely lifeless, and it's so disappointing. Where arguably the most exciting event of the entire season, excuse me, other than the playoffs, is has completely turned into an absolute snooze fest. The All Star game. That's embarrassing for the players. That's embarrassing for Adam Silver, and it's embarrassing for the entire league. To where one of your most hyped up events is completely boring, and it's uninteresting for the fans. That's a damn shame. That's a damn shame. And I have no clue how they can solve this. Because, well, in 2017, moved away from the traditional East versus West matchup to a draft system where two players, the team captains, they draft whoever they can find from the draft pool from that said year. And initially, that was a success. But as time went over, it got stale. The players were interested, and it became the same boring crap again. And they added the ELO rating too. And initially, again, that was great, amazing. We all remember that 2020 All Star game in Chicago. That was iconic. That was super iconic. That ending where Kyle Lowry was taking a shit ton of charges, that was one of the most exciting endings we have ever seen in an All-Star game. But again, as time progressed, that began still too. The players are doing the same thing all over again. The same boring layup lines and uninteresting basketball. And fast forward, the Elo ending got taken out, go back to East and West, and coming into it, so there was a little bit of hype, going back to conference versus conference. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. So at this point, with what I'm getting into, right? What can you do? What can you do? The league and Ab Silver, they've tried over and over and over to make the All Star game a more entertaining product. And long term, it hasn't worked out. It has not worked out. So let's not focus on all the rule changes, adding all these gimmicks into the actual game. We got to focus on these players and the actual effort they want to give for these games year in and year out, because clearly in recent years, for the most part, they don't care. I'm sorry. I hate to say it, but they don't care. To be completely honest, they don't care. They don't care, and it's a shame. It's a complete shame. Be- it's no, it was a waste of everybody's time. It was a waste of the fans' time. Them trying to get in to the stadium and watch their favorite players play in this game, and just for that to be an absolute snooze fest for everybody. Complete embarrassment. I was watching the alternate broadcast crew for TNT that they had with Charles Barkley, Draymond, and Taylor Rooks. Which, by the way, they did a decent job for the circumstances they were given. In like the second half, they completely ignored the game. They were talking about other stuff, like voting the game, voting like the actual commentary. Which I can't even blame them, because it was boring. It was a complete snooze fest. Complete snooze fest, man. Um, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. Again, the players. It's all on the players if they want to give effort or not. It's all on the players. It is completely on the players. They are the defining factor on whether or not the All Star game or even All Star weekend in general becomes a hit or a flop every year. It is what it is. They have the power and the authority to make this entertaining or not. And obviously, what we saw tonight in the All Star game and pretty much the majority of this weekend, it was entertaining. It wasn't. I mean, let me go through these stats. Let me go through these stats. Let's see. Let's see who led the league. Led the game in points. Cat had 50. I was surprised. I'm surprised he had 50. It didn't look like he had 50, really. I was paying attention. On the West, Shea had 31. Then KD had 18. Curry 16 off the bench. Booker 15 off the bench as well. Jokic had 13. He had his best showing in the All Star game by far in his entire career, which is saying a lot because usually he doesn't give his best effort for these things. And who else? Oh, Luca was Luca was bad. That smoke dunk he had, that dunk he had in the open court, that blown dunk was crazy. And in the half court shot he missed too, like badly as well. That was really bad for him. Let me go through these. Oh, LeBron had 8-2, only played 14 minutes. There was a tweet I saw from Dave McManaman. I think I messed up. I messed up his name poorly. Hold on. Let me pull up the actual tweet. I pronounced his name badly. Let's see. Let's see. Damn, hold on. Dave McMenamin, I think. Yeah, Dave McMenamin. That should be the right pronunciation. Uh, I saw a tweet from him on X. It says, LeBron James says the treatment he will undergo on his left ankle this week will possibly keep him out of the lineup for Lakers Warriors on Thursday after the All Star break is over. So that's why he had limited minutes for tonight. I really don't know why he was playing in that game in the first place. Probably to make the fans happy and not well, no, his appearance streak would still be intact, but still, the main point is just to make the fans happy and just to participate in the All Star game. But I shoot, that's crazy. That's crazy. I don't understand that. Mm, 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 mm. All right, let me go to the East real quick. Pull that up. Um, for the East, Lillard led the team with 39 points. Brown had 36 off the bench. Halliburton 32 off the bench. He was showing out. He was showing out. I saw the pass he did with the tribute with the white chocolate. I'm blanking on his name. Oh, Jason Williams. Jason Williams. The pass he did on the fast break with the assist. That was crazy. That was insane. I really liked. I liked when he did that. That was awesome from him. He was like one of the only players that gave in like a half a decent effort. So, hey, salute to Halliburton for that. He had 32. Giannis had 23. He won MVP. I'm surprised they didn't give it to Cat. I'm really surprised that they didn't give it to Cat, but whatever. Tatum 20. He was starting. Bam had 3 points. I didn't see him at all, really. Uh, Again, more people at the bench. Scotty Barnes had 16, Brunson 12, Maxi 10, and then Mitchell 9, Young 5, then Paulo with 6 to round it out. Yeah. um, that was it. Oh wait, no. I said Giannis won MVP. Dame won it. Dame won MVP. My fault, y'all. Dame won MVP, and that's how much I didn't pay attention to this game. Oh, and later in the game is I'm you know I'm rambling right now. I'm just rambling, but I just wanted to give my quick thoughts about how poor this game was because well we're gonna our next episode's most likely gonna be recorded on Thursday, so I just thought just to have me with this live stream, get my quick thoughts on it. I don't think Matt really cares about this weekend, the things that happen or not. So, just hop on here, say my thoughts, and then leave it at that. And then next week we can focus on our NBA based episode with recording. So Yeah, that was the plan. Shoot. Yeah, that was about the All Star game out the way. We'll recap with the weekend. I mean, Friday, the celebrity game was on. I didn't watch the majority of it. I mainly watched the highlights. Parsons had a good game. All the NFL guys they were showing out with Puka and CJ Stroud. The thing I didn't like was them all hogging, especially Micah. I'm sorry, but yo, you're in the NFL, man. You're not supposed to take 31 shots throughout the entire game. I'm sorry. Like, what do you got to prove, man? Like, you playing against regular human beings. Like, come on. And what he did to Covers dirty, bro. Like, not passing him the ball when he was in the paint. That was dirty from that was bad. That was bad from Micah, man. And, bro, they did Kai so dirty with this too. Shannon, he was the coach that for the team that Kai was on. He barely gave him any games playing time. He only had like 5 minutes throughout the entire game. He had 4 points off one shot. They did him dirty. His teammates did him dirty, especially Micah. I felt so bad for Kai. I felt so bad, especially with Ruby Rose. She had the video on Twitter cheering for him, saying, "Hey, you gotta drop 30 this game." I crash out. I crash out if I were him, man. I saw that man getting completely mad on the court when he was in when people they weren't passing him the ball. I understand him completely. I understand. I understand him, bro. Because if Ruby Rose, she's giving me support like that. Come on, man. I'm going out like MJ. I'm going out like Kobe. I'm shooting the rock when I have the chance. They did him dirty. They did him dirty. Rising Stars Challenge. I didn't watch that event due to like personal things going on that night. I didn't have time, but I saw the Matherin versus Ivy Exchange. That was crazy. You love seeing that in these events, especially in All Star Weekend, because of the competitiveness, them getting at it. All for good fun, and it makes the event more entertaining for the viewer watching. So good for them on their behalf, make it a little bit more entertaining in the Rising Stars game. I want them to switch over the rookie versus sophomores though, because I thought that was the perfect format. That was the That was the greatest format that they could have. To still have the foreigners, if they're rookie or sophomore, play for one team or the other. Then just have fun, or at least have the draft scenario where you have two people, two NBA legends, they can pick whoever they want, and they can play together against each other for that game. Either one of those formats I just mentioned would be fine for this event, but is what it is. G Leaguers for this event, I understand the NBA wanting to include the league more for the development and for marketing these players in the league itself, but I just feel like that it's not the most optimal choice, really. It's not the most optimal choice. Either make it rookies versus sophomores again, or just have a draft completely between two NBA legends. That's how I'd run the event. Moving on to Saturday's events. Skills challenge. Complete trash. Complete trash. Bro, and doing one-handed shots with his left, that was bad. I ain't like that. Me personally, I didn't like that. I'm sorry. I love Ant. I love Ant, but like no. Come on. Scotty Barnes. Um him dribbling the ball off his leg during the dribbling competition. I thought, oh man, that was bad. And then him doing the backward shot. I'm like, all right, man, okay. I was like, all right, man, all right. I see. I understand it. I understand it. But at the same time, like, damn, man. Um, like, damn. I know Wemby was pissed. He had to be pissed. I felt bad for him because he was getting sold the entire event. But Team Pacers won. Good for them. Um, I the skills challenge has completely been watered down over the past few years. I don't understand why they changed it so badly. The previous format was great with the bracket they had, the little tournament between bigs and guards, it was perfect. Even before, when all they had was a bunch of fast guards, like back in the day where you had Tony Parker, young Steph, CP3, Darren Williams, Steve Nash, those guys participating in it, and them doing a little bit of of the course, dribble around, do a bounce pass, chest pass, and then like a jumper, stuff like that. That was great. This current format, one, it's completely confusing. Half the time you don't know what's going on, and two, it's way too long. Bro, it took over an hour for the event to be done. It's the first event of the night. It should not take over an hour for it to be finished. It shouldn't it should not take over an hour for a skills challenge to be done. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. For any event to be long, it has to be either the 3-point contest or the dunk contest. No skills challenge. You can't do that. No, you can't. All right, moving on. Next event. Yeah, it was a 3-point shootout. Great as always. Dame won it. I was rooting for Trey, but salute to Dame. He was great. One of the most competitive 3-point shootouts I can remember. The first round, it went to sudden death with four guys having 26 points to start the contest off. I thought that was great. I got nothing. I got nothing else to say about the 3-point shootout. It's consistently over the past like what decade, it's been the best event in All Star Weekend by far. Which I'm a dunk contest guy. I'm a fanatic of the dunk contest, but even I gotta say the 3-point shootout has been carrying All Star Weekend for most years over the past decade. So salute to that. Um, Next one, obviously Steph versus Sabrina coming after that shortly. Great, brilliant. Shout out to Sabrina Ionescu for her performance. 26 points behind the NBA 3-point line to the WNBA 3-point line. She was great, brilliant, brilliant, man. Phenomenal. With what she's been doing in the WNBA, her shooting from that range, it was great for her to showcase her skills for the fans watching, which the majority of her have never seen her play. So for her to show off like that, almost beating Steph and comparing her performance to the NBA format for that night, her being at the very top with the other performers from that event, brilliant. Great marketing for the WNBA to get more exposure for these fans. Great for Ionescu to get her name to get her name off to let the average fan know worldwide that, hey, I can ball, and there are a lot of more girls like me in the WNBA can ball like as well. So good for her. Steph, obviously, he won it. The shooter that he is, he finished the night with 29 in that event. I got nothing else bad to say about it. The one of well, with the 3-point shootout, really the two best events that happened throughout this entire weekend. One more thing before we move on to the dunk contest, and kind of a little bit of a segue into the dunk contest. Kenny Smith, Kenny Smith, man, come on, Kenny, dude, that was whack with what he did, man. I appreciate what Sabrina did. Don't do all this extra stuff because that makes you out to be a hater. And I like Kenny Smith too. I like Kenny Smith, but what he did during the with the aftermath of the shootout, him comparing her shooting from not shooting at the WNBA line to make it more competitive, or like comparing what Steph and Sabrina did to like golfers. It's whack, man. It's really whack, bro. Appreciate the moment. Appreciate the moment. Respect what these two competitors did on this big of a stage for the fans to see. Made it an entertaining event. Everybody was happy. Everybody was lit. The, it, like know when to not do stuff like that, man. Just no. There was no need. There was no need. There was no need. And I understand that Katie Smith was rooting for her to win the shootout, but just adding those little comments, it made you out to be a hater. It made you out to be a hater and very bitter. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. And Katie Smith throughout the entire night, he was Kenny Smith was unlistenable. Almost every time he said something, it was like, bro, chill out, man. Relax. I don't know if he was drunk or not, but at the same time, like, bro, please, please, man. It made it a horrible viewing experience. And I know a lot of people like me felt the same way too. And bro, from it wasn't even from the Steph versus Sabrina event. From the very beginning to the skills challenge, just baking Reggie Miller and the city of Indianapolis, where you are on a network where they're promoting these events, they're promoting the league as a whole. They broadcast the NBA games week in, week out. You can't do that as an ambassador of the game. You can't crap on the product like that. I get you're trying to be funny, but at the same time, one, they weren't funny at all. It was just, again, it made you out to be annoying and a hater. And two, you're one of the ambassadors of the game, bro. You gotta respect that. You gotta know your role, man. You gotta know your role. And I know Reggie Miller was pissed. I know he was pissed because it was like, bro, relax. Come on, man. You don't gotta throw these little jabs at me trying to be funny, man. Come on. Like, and with the dunk contest too, the comment he said of Vahami Jaquez, bro, was with all the Mexican stuff. Like that was crazy. I'm not gonna lie, that was crazy. That was super crazy, man. That was insane. And like him, him just being bitter, being bitter. It's just like, bro, please, please relax, man. Like you're making this very uncomfortable. We don't want to listen to you being bitter on the mic, man. Please. It was annoying. It was very annoying. It was super annoying. Again, I like Kenny Smith. I love what he's been doing for TNT over the years. Respect him as a player and as an analyst. But at the same time, man, it was too far, and it's been too far for years. But what happened this year? It was the cream of the crop. So it was bad. But the actual dunk contest, the dunks itself weren't that bad. It's not worse than 2022 because 2022 is probably the worst dunk contest ever, like all time. The only dunk contest where it competes with that, it's 97, but I don't want to get into that. The dunk contest, the majority of the dunks itself, they weren't bad. It's just that they weren't done with power or force. They didn't get the crowd into it. With when you look at past great dunkers in this competition, like a Dominique, like a Zach Levine, Aaron Gordon, even Jason Richardson, they hit you with the power. Vince Carter too as well. They got you with the power. The dunks were great. I understand that. But the additional element that got the crowd into it and made it energetic was the amount of force they were putting into these dunks, the amount of power. What the majority of the dunks we saw on Saturday, they weren't powerful. They were barely done even. Like Jacob Toppin, the 360 move he did. That was a great dunk. But again, the power wasn't there. Like JB, he tried to imitate the Dominique Wilkins windmill dunk, like well, not standing up if I remember, but the windmill dunk Dominique used to do when he was in the dunk contest. It was a fine dunk, but at the same time, he didn't do it with the technique and the power that Dominique did. That's what made Dominique so great because he did it with such sheer force and technique that made the crowd go, "Wow, that was incredible." I didn't see that from JB or the majority of the competition with what we saw with those dunks. It was poor. Mac McClung, obviously he won it. Salute to him. He had a solid showing. But other than that, it was really forgettable. Jalen Brown, obviously, as a Celtics fan, he let me down. I'm not gonna lie, he let me down. He let me down. He was getting booed actually, bro. The Kai Cenat dunk, that was one of the worst dunks I've ever seen in my life in a dunk contest. It's up there with the Tim's dunk Cole Anthony did, the NFT dunk Jalen Green did. It's up there. It's really up there, man. Bro, he had Kai Cenat, who is around 5 foot. He's 5'3". He jumped over Kai Cenat, and he was sitting down. Kai Cenat was sitting down. Bro, that's a regular dunk. You're supposed to do that in your sleep, jumping over a regular pedestrian. At least with previous instances of people jumping over dudes in the dunk contest, they were either doing it one with multiple guys, like two or three guys with the dunk, or doing it over really tall guys like a taco fall. Those were better than what JB did. What JB did was horrible. I didn't understand that. And the Dominique dunk too, having the kid out, that was weird. And TNT, that was really poor what they did with the camera work. Us not seeing the dunk, that was poor for them. I'm not gonna get into the Terrence Clark dunk with what he did. That was a good tribute from him, giving his condolences and a great tribute to Terrence Clark, what happened during his tragedy a few years back. So I'm not going to critique that dunk, but other than that, it was a really poor performance. The judges were bad too as well. I really feel like they were giving a lot of bias towards Brown with him being a more established player and him being an actual all star compared to the other participants in the contest, which led to lower scores from Jacob Toppin, which I thought he should have been in the final going up against Matt McClung, but I guess they didn't want two G leaguers in the same final when they had an already established NBA player in that same competition. So whatever, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, um, yeah, that's pretty much it. It was really poor. It was super poor, man. Um, man. Um, quickly talk about new ideas to put in place for the dunk contest that people were suggesting. Let's talk about it for a little bit. 1v1 competition, great on paper, never gonna happen, bro. If these guys aren't competing in the actual All Star game and not participating in the dunk contest, the most type of event of like the entire competition, the entire weekend, what do you think they're gonna do a 1v1 comp? It's great on paper. I love the idea, but at the same time, no, it's not gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. Realistically, it's never gonna happen. Never, never. And it's sad because think about all the possibilities we could see, like Trey going up against like Shea, Shea going up against Ant, Jokic going up against Luca. It's never gonna happen. Pride, ego. That's a major factor in why that's not gonna happen, unfortunately. So yeah, it's a great idea, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. Other ideas like course, I think it'd be too long. The NBA already tried that in the past, and one of the biggest problems with that was it lasted way too long. So I wouldn't mind. Excuse me, I wouldn't mind, but probably damn, probably have some type of not ramification, but like probably gotta adjust to that. Like make it even shorter, have less letters, like pig. Just have that, except just make it pig instead of horse moving forward. So that could be something moving forward. I wouldn't mind that at all. I think it would be pretty cool. An idea I do have with the NBA wanting to include more players of WNBA, bring back the Shooting Stars Challenge. Bro, when I was a kid, I used to remember being excited for that. And I also remember Chris Bosh, before the event was, you know, before the event, like they didn't run the event anymore. They three-peated Chris Bosh's team, and on the team it was obviously Chris Bosh and then Swing Cash, and then Dominique. And I loved it as a kid. That was great. That was a great event. I don't know why they took that away. So with one of my ideas, me throwing it into the ring, bring back the shooting stars challenge, bring that back, do the same format, have a current NBA player, a current WNBA player, and a current NBA legend. And let's run it back. They ran it back too. Well, it was different. It was a little bit different with the Clorox Clutch Challenge in the 2022 All Star Weekend that the Rising Stars had for that event. I thought that was great. Just bring that back. If you want to add more events, if you want to make it more fresh, I think that that's a great start right there. Put it at the beginning, along with the skills challenge. You know, get the starting event out the way and make the fans happy. I think that'd be a good move moving forward. But who knows what Amsterdam will do with this weekend. San Francisco is going to be next year. It's going to be in the next year. Hopefully that will be much better. But I'm losing hope, man. Losing a lot of hope. But man, we'll just have to see. Um, yeah. Probably gonna get out of here really quick. Just wanted to speak my mind on these events. And yeah, man. Later, if y'all watch this, thank y'all. Um, we're gonna have a more formal episode later this week, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, man, peace out.